Chris Hubbard here, sales associate and Jeep enthusiast here at Canmore Chrysler. Coming to you today with this video with some really exciting news. We have an all-new 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL Sahara on the lot. We just finished cleaning it up. We really wanted to take a moment to just go over this vehicle with you, show you some of the details and the massive amounts of improvements that Jeep has made on this vehicle. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce to you the 2018 Jeep Wrangler JL Sahara. Now, as we come around to the front of this JL, it's clear that Jeep has changed a lot of things on this vehicle. Right off the bat, you're going to notice that they've removed the Jeep logo on the grille, because from a distance, you know this is a Wrangler. So they really felt they didn't have to advertise it on the front of the vehicle anymore. Coming in with new and improved LED lighting group, giving you factory halos along with LED lights in both the headlights and the fog lights, and kind of protruding into that first slot of the 7-slot grille on each side. A really nice little heritage move by Jeep in this case, bringing it back to the CJ days. Now this Sahara does have the plastic bumper, really nice, new and improved compared to the boring bumpers we used to see on the JKs, and just really adds to the stylish new appearance of the exterior of the JL. Now you might notice these guys here, these are actually an LED strip, kind of like a marker light, and also your blinker is tied into the underneath here. So your blinkers are going to be clearly visible with oncoming traffic and as you navigate your way through the urban jungle or the backwoods and the backcountry and trails. You're probably going to notice these stylish 18-inch rims right off the bat. These are all new rims designed for the JL, and they are wrapped in Bridgestone dueler tires. Now as we continue to work our way down the sides, you're going to notice this indent right here. This isn't just aesthetic, this is also for performance as well. This vent is fully functional and it's going to allow some heat reduction from the engine bay to prevent overheating. It's also going to contribute to eliminating that hood bounce in the front of the Wrangler like we used to see in the JKs. All in all, really nice stylish body lines, giving it reminiscent of a half-door look, continuing from the front of the vehicle all the way down to the rear. Alright, so as we look at the rear seats of this four-door Sahara JL, there's a couple things I want to point out to you here. Now one, these driver and passenger seats are all the way back. So this is going to give you an accurate representation of the amount of rear legroom. Now you are going to notice that this is a bit more than the JK. The overall length is a little under 2 inches longer, allowing for extra space for your rear passengers and also allowing for very ease of operation to fold down these seats. Now with one touch, the seat is going to go down effortlessly, not making any contact with the driver's seat whatsoever. And they've even thought of adding this little extra piece here, which bridges the gap that we used to see in the JKs when you had your rear seats folded down. Now if my handy dandy cameraman there will fold down the other side, it really gives you an accurate view as to how much space you have in the back of this four-door Sahara. Now as we come around to the rear of this Sahara, there's a couple things to point out here. All new tail lights being LED, of course, with the LED lighting group. We've also got your backup camera right here in the center. So it's basically the farthest point of the vehicle. It's going to give you very accurate depth in terms of where you are when you're backing up. And in order to take your spare tire off, you simply remove this little housing and your spare tire will slide right off over top of it. The camera is encased in a metal housing, so you can't damage it, you can't rough it up when you are changing your tires. One thing that you might notice right away is that the wiper blade is actually down on the bottom now. Jeep relocated this to again give you increased visibility from the driver's seat. You no longer have that big motor in your way up top here. And look at the amount of space in the back of this Wrangler. So with the seats folded down, you get a nice flat deck load. Again, those carpet pieces bridging the gap in between the seats and the rear cargo area like we used to see on the JK. And Jeep has also relocated the subwoofer over to the right-hand side. So this one does have our Alpine premium sound system. And let me tell you, it sounds good. Now as we look underneath, we actually have a nice storage compartment down here now. So because of the subwoofer being moved back to the side, we've regained this storage space. And really nice touch with Jeep, keeping the slots for all of your bolts. So when you take your roof off, when you take your windshield down, when you take your doors off, you've got a spot to put all of those bolts and not lose them when you go to reassemble. Alright guys, welcome to the all new interior in this Jeep Wrangler JL. Jeep has literally thought of everything when it comes to the interior finishes, the detail, and the overall layout of this all new Wrangler. Now we're going to start up here towards the top, and you're going to notice that there's a little bit of a texture in the Freedom panels now. This is just kind of a design and a feature. It really adds a nice texture to the panels instead of that blank, flat white that we used to see in the JKs. And right off the bat, you'll probably notice that the rear view mirror is actually mounted to the cross member at the top of the frame here, as opposed to being mounted directly to the windshield. Now Jeep was quite clever when they did this, because what they wanted to do is make it much easier for you to be able to fold down the windshield for the first time ever in an all new Wrangler. So when you do fold down your windshield, your rear view mirror is still fixed in place. You've got SOS here and the assist. This is going to be tied in with that all new Uconnect screen, which is going to give you the capability of calling for assistance, roadside assistance, flat tire repair, all that kind of stuff with ease from your Jeep. Now as we move down to the center of the cabin here, this 8.4-inch Uconnect screen is an upgrade in the Sahara and available in other models as well. It is absolutely fantastic. It's a 4th generation Uconnect screen. It's very fast, it's very responsive, and it does feature Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is a huge improvement from Jeep in terms of the infotainment center available in the Wrangler. Sirius XM radio free for the first year, and you will notice that you have navigation in this one as well. So from your radio screen, you can have a small map if you'd like, or you can go back to the regular radio screen. Of course, clicking on navigation, you can get your full size navigation there. Voice command, voice activated, right from the vehicle. Now as we move down a little bit lower, you're going to notice that we have some quick buttons here on top of the buttons that are available in the screen. So you have things like your heated steering wheel, a first in a Wrangler, heated seats, a first in a Wrangler, along with some dual climate controls, heated seat for your passenger, hill descent control, and in this case, to turn off your park sense sensors in the rear. Now you're probably wondering, why does it have park sensors? Well, if we look up for just a second, look at the backup camera in this Wrangler. Absolutely incredible, crystal clear display, and also has the predictive guidelines. So as you turn your wheels, it's going to let you know where the Jeep's heading in case you just need that little bit of help when it comes to backing up. Now Jeep kept it classic in this sense with the window controls. So your window controls are here in the middle, just like we saw in the JKs. You have a full media import here for your USB auxiliary and USB-C connectivity, and then an additional charging port over here on the side. Now in the Rubicon models, you will have an available 4 auxiliary switches, which will be down here, along with your locking rear diff and front diff and electronic sway bar disconnects. Now a nice short shift here on this first ever 8-speed automatic in the JL. They really wanted to improve fuel economy and ride comfort, so going to the 8-speed automatic was a no-brainer. Really nice detail in the finishings of the shifter. Attention to detail is just out of this world. It is a nice short shift, so its total travel is not very far at all to go from park to drive, and you do also have the ability to control it in a manual mode. So if you want that full control when you're on the trails, or if you're bouncing around the urban jungle, you've got the freedom and flexibility to do so. Your transfer case is still an actual lever, so right now we're in 4 high. We push that up, we go back to 2 high, and then just like the JL or JK, we go down to 4 low. It's nice to have an actual transfer case. It is a Jeep, so you're really nice to have that feeling of putting the transfer case into its desired position. Now an option that is going to come available in the Sahara is going to be a 4 auto. So the 4 auto is going to sit right over here next to 4 high. Basically an on-demand 4x4 system, so you can leave it there, it'll operate in 2-wheel drive and switch to a 4-wheel drive as necessary. Alright, so just a quick peek at the cluster and instrument panel here on the dash of the all-new Wrangler. Right off the bat, you are going to notice that you have a full screen now and in between your speedometer and tachometer. This is going to give you a lot of information about your vehicle. For example, in vehicle info, you can see your oil life, oil pressure, oil temperature, transmission temperature, etc. So if you're a little concerned about how your vehicle's doing, you can do some quick checks there to make sure everything's okay. You can also go to this off-road page, which is all new for this Wrangler. It's going to give you your pitch and roll, let you know the angles that your vehicle's currently sitting at. So when you're on the trails, this is going to be very useful and is fully built into the dash of the Wrangler. In that off-road page as well, you also have a digital representation of the vehicle. So for example, when you put it in four-wheel high, it's going to show you that your transfer case is now locked. So you get the little symbol that pops up here, and then you also have a visual representation of where your transfer case is right now. Also, when you turn your wheel, it's going to give you a degree angle of where your tires are headed. So again, when you're on the trail, you can really have that extra comfort in terms of where you're headed, where your wheels are, and what obstacles you're about to conquer. On top of all those settings, you're also going to have things like your fuel economy, along with trip information, and your engine stop-start, audio, messages from the vehicle, etc. Now in this screen setup, you can fully customize this screen as well. So whether you want the compass to be on this side or over there, temperature, fuel range, all that kind of stuff, you can really personalize the Wrangler to what you need. And as we take a look at the steering wheel here, really nice and comfortable, all new design compared to the JK. This is how you're going to toggle between the different screens in the middle. Your controls here for Bluetooth calling and your voice activation for navigation, etc. And then of course your cruise control here and steering wheel mounted audio controls just behind to wrap it all up.